are live, so you're welcome on into Rise at Home. Thanks for joining. So we have got just under 8 minutes to go before you get started, so welcome on into Pilates. It's Pilates 6. So you don't really need anything except yourself and a mat. The only props you could potentially need are a brick and a strap, if you know that you like to use them for either a seated movement or to forward fold. So we would use our strap to encourage length in our forward fold. I'll just grab one to demo. So yeah, you've got the option of using a strap just to encourage length in your forward fold. So you can just get anything like a belt or a tie or whatever feels good. It means if you're quite tight, you can still maintain length in the spine as you draw into a forward fold. The other props you might need are a brick if you know you find it really difficult to sit on your butt like this. The other thing you can just do is a folded up towel works really well if you just need a little lift and you just want to find something that you can just use that to help with that seated position. If you're on the brick, if you just shimmy your butt forwards, so you're around the edge of the brick, it enables you to find that length in the spine. So those are the only two things you really need. Just make sure you've got obviously a little bit of space if you can. Now people are doing it in all sorts of weird and wonderful places. Laundry rooms and bad sides of your bed and things. So I'll give you different options as well for if you are in a confined space. I will try and remember to give you different options. So, I hope everyone's having a okay time at home and keeping well. Not so much of a nice day today. So, but it's been a lovely week, eh? I managed to get my first sunburn of the year, which is quite spectacularly unimpressive when it's only been 18 degrees and I was outside for like 30 minutes. So, yep, classic. Always a key moment in the year, that first ridiculously unimpressive sunburn. So yeah, and it is Easter weekend coming up as well, so I hope everybody manages to have a nice enough time at home, whatever you get up to. We have of course got yoga classes here, we've always got yoga, so you can always, if you've got nothing else to do, tune in and practice. We're going to have Jen in over the weekend. So got, I think probably power and flex tomorrow morning, which will be super fun. And of course you can view all of our classes at www.rise.co.uk/online, so it's the best place to stream. You can jump into our virtual studio there as well, so join us on Zoom, which means I can see you, and you can see me anyway, but I can see you, which is awesome, makes it so much better, being able to see everyone, and you can give me encouragement. I can see what you're up to. Oh, I can see Chris at the moment is on Zoom doing some sort of jazz hands. That's what we like to see. Yeah, and we've also now got over 100 videos available on our Rise online virtual video portal. So we've got loads of classes. We've got me, we've got Jen, we've got Hannah, and we've got Ashton doing all sorts of different classes right from when we first opened to now. We've got some freestyles on there as well, so little unique classes outside of our normal sequencing structure, so some funky little flows there, and we'll just continue to grow that as the weeks progress. So that means you can always do it in your own time and do it at your own pace. Mum's just joined me on Zoom. Hey Mum! Nice thing about doing all this virtual stuff is I can have full-on family involvement, which normally is not possible due to the geography. So it's super fun, it's really nice. Massive silver linings. Had a wonderful O'Neill turnout for classes this week. I've been very impressed. Oh, look at that, I can see my dad as well. Hey Dad! That's like proper TV moments. Oh no, it's not Dad, it's Mum. Mum wearing a grey jumper. But so yeah, if you are practicing at home as well, do, as I keep saying, let us know how you get on. If you've got any questions after the class, give us a little comment. If you've got any photos to share, either of yourself or your pets, anything else really you've got, do feel free to stay in touch. We're still here, just always on in the Facebook or the phone if you've got anything that you need help with. And yeah, I think that's about it really. So we have got just 2.5 minutes to go. So Pilates, if you've not done Pilates before, Pilates is lots of functional movement, particularly focusing on the spinal alignment. So a really great conditioning practice, particularly focusing on strengthening those muscles that support healthy spinal alignment, finding space in those muscles that when they get tight pull the spine out of alignment. So we're particularly focusing on abs, on glutes, a little bit of work on the quads as well. We're thinking about healthy knees there, and we'll also look into the upper back a little bit in this class. So trying to strengthen those muscles that help the shoulders pull down the back. So often everyday life activities can lead to imbalances in the muscles, and we do a lot of seating, a lot of reaching forwards, a lot of punching in a chair. It can just cause some muscles to become very loose, which we need a little stronger, some muscles to become quite tight, which we could do with it being a little looser. So it's just trying to rebalance that is the aim of the game in Pilates. So thinking about practicing posture as well, sort of trying to develop healthy postural habits, so practicing that ability to maintain length in the spine, shoulders down, to maintain control and balance as you move. So we've got some moving balances in here as well. So a little bit of everything, but particularly aiming on nice controlled, strong movements. So don't feel like you have to rush or push. I'll give you different options, super welcome to take them. The aim really in Pilates is to focus on that control and that accuracy in the movement. So quite a slow, squeezy style of movement, and what we're really thinking of is sneakily difficult is what we're aiming for really. So aiming for that strong, controlled, squeezy movements. So think about that, and we have got, what's it going to be? Another 30 seconds before we get started. So if you're joining at home, you might want to just start thinking about getting yourself set up. We'll get started very soon. Maybe shutting the door on the dog, putting on some nice tunes if you've got some tunes at home that you like to practice with. And when you're ready, we can start to come on down and we'll get started very soon. So you can come on down and start to chill out if you're ready in a supine bound angle. So letting the soles of the feet come together and the knees fall upward. Shoulders down the back. Deep breaths in and out there. So you're all super welcome on into Pilates. This is Pilates 6. So just starting off just here in a supine bound angle. If this isn't comfortable, so you can either have soles of feet together and knees knocking out. If that doesn't work for you, you can extend the legs out or bring the feet out towards the edges of the mat, let the knees knock in, whatever at all feels good for you. So we're just aiming to find a position where we can start to chill out, relax, and start to just feel gravity in the breath bring space into the body. So letting the back of the neck be long and the shoulders release down the back. Deep breaths in. And out here. So finding a deep, full inhale and exhale. So feeling that breath in the lower belly, in the back body, in the side body. And releasing. Starting to see if you can just deepen, extend and slow down the breath. Finding a steady rhythm, a steady flow. I'll just be here for 3 more breaths. Deep inhales. Exhales. Shoulders relaxing. Maybe letting the muscles of the face relax. Taking 1 more really deep inhale. And exhale. And from there, drawing the knees in towards each other, yourself a little squeeze, little stretch. And then planting the feet down on the floor. So the knees are in the air. And starting to tuck the shoulders down the back, thinking about grounding down, big toe, little toe, heel. Starting to draw the abdominals tight in towards the spine. So you're finding a nice like squeeze through the abs. And we're going to think about holding that through class. So somewhere where you can still breathe, but you feel like you've got a nice little squeeze. I always like to think like a pair of support tights, just got that little tuck in. From there, you're grounding down, big toe, little toe, heel. Knees stay in line with ankles, in line with hips as you slowly ripple your way up. Letting the chest float towards the chin. And then you're very, very, very slowly lowering down, vertebra by vertebra. So you want this to be as slow as you can, as controlled as you can. Thinking about knees, ankle, hips staying in alignment. Thinking about that power on the lifts, pressing chest to chin. And releasing back down with as much control as you can. So either staying here, thinking about rippling up and down the spine, starting to mobilize the spine, starting to feel all of that strength you have in the abdominals, in the glutes. Option to stay there. Option to start to lift the heels up. We're working with the heels lifted. So heels lifted increases the activation through the quads and the glutes. So we're just thinking about working into the lower body there. Quads and glutes are really important for knee health, but we're continuing to find that lovely control through the lumbar spine. Working here, another 3, rippling up, pressing up, and rolling down with control. 2. And 1, well done. Hug on in there, give yourself a little squeeze, little stretch, little wiggle. And then plant the feet back down on the floor. So we're going to move straight into a second bridge exercise. So starting off, we're going to ground down the feet, press the hips up high, finding our way into a static bridge. So you want knee, ankle, hip in alignment as before, and you're thinking about finding that stability to start with. From there, we're either going to just lift up one heel and lower, lift up the other heel and lower. That might be enough for you, in which case you're staying there, focusing on keeping the hips high and maintaining perfect stillness through that ski slope of knees to chest. Or if you can, we're going to lift the foot up, drive knee to chest and reset. So really slow and controlled. Try as much as you can not to wiggle from side to side with the hips. It's all about that squeezy control through the glute as you drive one knee into the chest as you slowly roll down. So we're thinking about that drive, that drive. You want to feel the abs engage, you want to maintain stability. So that grounded leg here is doing all the work of the lifting. So taking a variation of a single leg bridge here, we're asking one leg to do all of the work of lifting the whole body. We're using the abs to stabilize, so increasing the work for the quads, glutes and abs. Try and take a little knee drive as well, a little bit of extra work for the abs. If it gets too much, you can also, as an option, release the hips down to the mat and just take one knee into the chest and one knee into the chest. Same movement with the legs, but with the shoulders and the hips grounded. Your choice. Remember, this is Pilates. You want to take it as slow as you can. You want to make it really smooth. You want to find that sense of squeeze in the muscles and keeping that control through the muscles as you work. Working here for 5. Well done. Lifting up, squeezing up. 4, 3, 2, and slowly rolling down. Well done. Give yourself a little squeeze there, a little rock and roll, a little hug in. And from there, we're going to move into a double leg extension. So you've got the knees hugged into the chest. From there, you're going to extend the knees away and let them come back in. So starting off, they might just extend a little way away and then come back in. You want to keep the abdominals really tight and make sure the lower back stays pressing into the floor. So here, the lower back is on the floor for the full duration. If it's okay, you might take those legs a little further away, thinking about moving more towards a full extension and back in. You'll notice the abs really have to start to power up when the legs extend away. That's when you want to keep that squeeze. Option to work up chin to chest and work extending the legs away and back in with that chin to chest control. So you're using the abs here to lift the shoulders off the mat. So you want to feel it's a squeeze of the abdominals, and it's that squeeze of the abdominals that draws the lower rib cage towards the top of the hips. If you want to make it harder again, arms and legs move away from each other and then back in towards each other. You're focusing on that squeeze through the abs, arms and legs moving away and back in, really focusing on control. Working there for 5, squeezing movements here. Think about chin staying in towards the chest, 4. So we're extending, driving in, getting into the lower abdominals here. If you're working with the arms, you're keeping the shoulder blades drawing down the back, so you're not letting the shoulders hunch up, you're keeping that sense of mobility through the shoulders. 3, 2, and 1, release, well done. Little hug in there, little stretch. And then from there, we're going to plant the feet down. We're going to move into a second bridge exercise. So this one, we're mobilizing the thoracic spine, the upper spine. Level 1, we're starting off, the hips are down, knees are in the air, heels just a little away from the hips. Right hand is facing down, you get by the side body. You're going to lift the left hand up and over the body, extending it towards the top right corner of the mat, and then slowly release down. Taking it on the other side, so the right hand reaches up and over your head towards the left side of the mat. See that right shoulder's coming off the mat, and then that left shoulder's coming off the mat. So a really minor twist in the upper spine. Option to take it higher, pressing up to a bridge pose, the hips off the mat, maintaining stability in the lower body. We're working that same movement with the arms, so just reaching up and across. If you've got quite tight shoulders, you might find that you're not getting loads of movement here. Doesn't matter, we're just aiming for that mobilization. Option to stay there, option to drop the hips down and power up, squeeze, lift, and control the lower using the abs. So powerful squeezy lift up, slow controlled lower. Thinking about powering up, using the firing of the glutes, lowering down using the abs. We're maintaining that same sense of twisting through the upper spine. Don't worry if the hand doesn't touch all the way to the mat. We're just aiming to find that twist through the upper spine. Working here, so we're thinking about mobilizing the upper back. Often an area that can get quite tight. So just think about finding some space there. 4. Well done. 3, 2, and 1, release, well done. A little squeeze in, little wiggle, so give yourself a little rock and roll. And from there, we're just going to take a little twisting exercise. So we're going to take chin to chest, hands behind the back of the head, elbows are wide. Inhale and exhale, take opposite elbow to knee. We're coming back through center, opposite elbow to knee. So just taking a little crisscross, elbows are wide. We're lifting one shoulder off the mat, similar to that thoracic bridge. And we're taking a little twist through the spine. So we're involving the abdominals here, the lower back is on the floor, and we're exhaling to cross. If you want to take this down a level, plant both feet down on the floor, and then you're just going to lift opposite knee and elbow together with one foot grounded, and then return to center. So that gives you a little more stability to work into that twist. If you want to make it harder, you can extend the legs straight, and you can work your straight leg version. With both legs straight, the abdominals have to work that a little bit harder to keep the lower back on the floor. So option to have a bend in the knee, option to have the feet down on the floor, option to have straight legs, whatever works for you. Thinking about inhale through center and exhale as you power into that squeeze. Keeping the elbows as wide as you can, trying to keep both hips on the ground and feeling that twist from the waist when one shoulder comes off the mat. Working here for 5, you got this, inhale, exhale, twist, 4, squeezy movements, 3, 2, and 1, well done. Give yourself a little squeeze there, a little rock and roll. And then when you're ready, you're just going to rock and roll all the way up and over and find your way to a table pose. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Alright, so we're going to move up to our full body here. So the start of a little sequence, lots of plank work and some balance work as well. So starting off, we are finding table, hands underneath the shoulders, pressing really hard with the hands into the mat. Keep that core really tight, and from there you're going to tuck the toes, and then hover the knees an inch or so off the mat. So this is a panther. One of my favourite exercises. Knees are hovering an inch or so off the mat. Hands are pressing really hard into the mat, thinking about the core staying engaged, thinking about activating the muscles of the upper back. Alright, you're very welcome to stay there. If you're feeling it, you might take it into a panther crawl. Moving opposite hand and foot if you can. It's a little bit of a brain workout as well. Forwards and backwards. Thinking about trying to not wiggle the hips, or you can just hold. Wherever you are, you're thinking about really powering the hands into the mat. You're thinking about keeping the core engaged. You should be feeling this in the quads and in the upper back. It's a really nice exercise, little variation of a plank, which enables you to get a bit of stronger work into the body, into the lower body particularly. Working here for 5, so just hold or hover, maybe a little crawl. Try and keep the bum low if you're crawling. Try and keep those knees just an inch or so off the mat. 4, well done, we got this. 3, 2, and release the knees down to the mat. From there, we're just going to take a nice little stretch. So we're going to walk the hands forwards and let the forehead come to the mat. So a little puppy pose. We're just thinking about stretching out through the underarms, through the chest. So we're inhale, lengthening out, stretching out there. Thinking about finding that lovely sense of space through the underarms. Inhale. And exhaling, well done. Stretching out long for 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. One more deep breath in. And from there we're going to walk the hands back up. And we're going to come back into a panther. So we're going to hover the knees and inch yourself off the mat. We're going to take a little panther twist. So option 1, if you've got space, you're going to rotate. You're going to kick the left foot under the body, the right hand comes up to the sky, and then you're returning through centre. Hover and then rotate. So you have to really squeeze the core, find that power, getting a lovely twist through the spine, stretching out through the chest. If you don't have space, you can take it into a bent knee. You just don't have to fully extend the leg. You can just take a little twist. If it's too much, you can also work a similar movement from a plank. So without that bend in the knees, you're just kicking one foot under, lifting up the opposite hand. If you can, we're maintaining this lovely little panther hover, and you get loads of really strong work. You have to feel the abs fire to come through centre. Really nice little twist through the spine. If you drop the hips quite low to the mat when you kick out the foot, then have to really power up a little bit hard. You can get a little bit more strength there. So try to make it as slow and controlled as you can. Opening out through the chest, rippling over. Working here for 5. We got this. Squeeze, rotate. 4, 3, awesome stuff. 2, and 1. Well done. Come back to table. From there, we're going to take a little shoulder stretch, a little bit of a break. So right palm faces up, right shoulder comes onto the mat, left hand walks out in front of you, and we're just stretching out there. Deep breaths in and out there. So stretching into that right shoulder. Inhaling, exhaling, using that as a little bit of time to slow down and relax. Oh, maybe do your hair. Stretching out here for 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. One more deep breath in. And from there, come through centre, back into your table. We're just taking that on the other side. So left hand, palm faces up, is going to come under. Left shoulder comes onto that right hand out in front of you. So just shimmying out, finding some space in the shoulders. Deep breaths in. And just taking a little bit of a release to the shoulder. Inhaling. Exhaling for 5. Deep breaths in and out. 4. So releasing through the shoulder, through the spine. 3. Inhale. Exhaling. 2. One more deep breath in. And From there, coming back up to center, and we're just going to take one more little plank exercise. This time we're going to come into a full plank. So we worked from panther in the last two exercises. This time we're coming into a full plank, pressing really hard with the hands into the mat, thinking about squeezing in the core. From there, we're going to, similar movement, bring the left foot under the body, and we're going to tap the right hand to the left foot, and then we're going to return through center. So try to find a slow, controlled movement, tap, and return. If you can, you might hold onto that foot and hold it there, a little bit of a static hold, and then return. So if that's not working for you, you can just bring one foot, side of the foot down onto the mat, take a modified side plank, carefully return through center, taking the other foot under the body, planting the side of the foot down, return through center. So either just taking opposite hand and foot up, so a little twisted side plank, and return through center. Maybe if you can, tapping hand to foot, returning through center. Try to find a really slow, controlled. If you're feeling stronger, maybe take the hand into the foot, hold, feel that power, return through center. So we're focusing on the transition being slow and controlled. We're focusing on finding stability in whatever variation of a toe tap, side plank or hold we're working on. Thinking about keeping the core engaged, working the full body here. We're getting a nice little twist through the spine, working the abs, working the upper body, working here. Nice work. 5. So a little stretch through the outside of the right leg if you're taking that little hold as well. 4. Well done. 3. We're going to come to some upper back strengthening after this. 2. And 1. Nice work. From there, lower all the way down onto the knees and all the way down onto your tummy. So we're moving into some upper back strengthening. So just finding your way down onto your tummy here. You're going to bring the forehead to the mat and the elbows are going to come in line with the shoulders, palms face down. From there, you're going to chin to chest, keep the lower body relaxed, and we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Hands and elbows come up in line, we're just lifting up, squeezing. So if you keep your forehead down on the mat, I'm just coming up so I can talk to you. We're squeezing and lowering. So thinking about powering up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Keep the shoulders away from the ears and lowering. So we're getting into the upper back here. So it's all about that power through the upper back. You don't want to take it to a point of strain. You're just finding that sense of lifting up elbows and hands. Try to keep them feeling roughly in line. And lower. So just working here. Thinking about holding a little bit at the top if you can. So squeezy lifts and lowers for 3. So thinking about shoulders stay down, holding. 2. And 1. You're very welcome to stay there. If you feel like you can take it further, take the hands out into a Y-shaped position. So we're taking the hands out into a Y as if you're doing a prone YMCA and you're on the Y. And then we're going to lift both hands up, squeeze the shoulder blades together and lower. Again, keep the shoulders down. You're thinking about feeling that power in the upper back and lower. So don't take it too far if there's any strain on the neck. We're finding that squeezy movement and that lower. Working here for 5. 4. It's really powerful. Shoulder blades squeeze together. 3. 2. And 1. Release. Alright, option to stay there. If you're feeling it, take the hands fully out in front of you. So if you were doing an I in the YMCA, so palms are face down, in line with the shoulders over the head. Same again, forehead to mat. And you're going to lift both hands, shoulders squeeze down, feel that activity in the back and the shoulders, and lower. So thinking about lift, 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 squeeze, feel that power, and lower. Another 5. So really strong work for the upper back here. Keeping that sense of drawing the shoulders down there. 4. Power, 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 energy. 3. 2. And 1. Well done. Release there. Hands under the shoulders. Press up to a table position. So we're coming back up to table. We've got one more little plank exercise, and that's going to take us up to our full body balance work. Hands underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes, find your way to a plank and an inchworm. So see these in all our Pilates classes. So walking hands back towards the feet, bending the knees if you need to, and then walking back in front of you. So thinking about trying to avoid wiggling from side to side with the hips as much as you can. We're keeping the core engaged, pressing really hard with the hands into the mat. Finding that lovely mobility through the backs of the legs. We're just starting to think about finding that lovely strength in the upper back, that strength in the core, finding space in the legs. You can take this fast or slow, entirely up to you. Just try to focus on control. If you want to throw in a little sneaky tricep press up at the end, rock on. Just a nice little bit of flowing full body movement. Opportunity to take it down a level by just chilling out in that floppy forward fold if you prefer. Taking one more little walk out and back again. So one more walk out. Maybe throwing in that tricep press up. Remember, you can come to the knees there if you need to. And then we'll meet in a floppy forward fold. So a little hang out here, a little wiggle out, a little shake out. For 3, letting the head and the shoulders release and relax. Maybe letting the chin move towards the chest, so you find that lovely release through the whole back of the body, right up to the top of the neck for 3, 2, and 1. Chin to chest, roll on up. Alright, balance time. Alright, 2 of my favourite little balance sequences here. So we're going to start off with a running man into 80 stance workout, as I like to think of it. So right foot is coming into the centre of the mat. What we're going to do is we're going to take a sort of school crossing sign. So we're going to strike a pose as if we're on a school crossing sign. So the right knee is over right ankle, but we're taking a bend in the right knee and the left foot is moving out behind you. So it's a bit like a single leg backwards moving squat. And then we're going to come on up, we're going to drive opposite elbow to knee, so left knee comes to right elbow. So we've got a bit of an 80s dance workout move on the go. And then we're going to move back to the school crossing sign. And then we're going to come on up. This is how I actually dance at parties. And we're just going to move between the two. So grounding down, big toe, little toe, heel. And coming on up, squeezing on up. You okay at home? Just had a little bit of a tumble. So just a really slow lower. If you want to take it further, we're taking right hand to left foot. And then you can come all the way up. So that just takes you a little bit deeper. So the deeper you go here, the harder the work's going to be. Taking a bend in that knee and then you're squeezing to come on up. So it doesn't have to be a big movement. If you find that you're a little bit stable, miss out that knee drive. So we're just taking that little school crossing sign into a lift. You don't have to take that elbow to knee cross. We're aiming to build strength in the quads here. So you have to work really quite hard to find that stability in the lift. And then when you work opposite elbow to knee, getting a lovely little standing crunch. So slow as you go. Remember, depth is not important, it's all about power, about feeling that squeeze of the glutes, of the core, of the abs. We're working on moving balance here. So moving balance is a really, really, really important skill to practice. We're aiming to learn to control movement, and that can help with injury prevention in other activities in everyday life. Taking one more on this leg, probably starting to burn a little bit now. And when you're ready, give that leg a shake out. That right leg's probably feeling a little bit sore. Let's take it onto the left. So, same again, let's start off. School crossing sign. So, we've got that left knee over left ankle, right foot is moving out behind its big toe, little toe, heel is grounded. And then we're going to lift up and opposite elbow to knee. So, little movement backwards. So we're taking a bend in that left knee, but focusing on stability, and then we're driving, crossing. So options. If you want to take it down, you can just, oh gosh, there we go. Balance is always bad on this side. Take a running man to a knee drive. So a little lift and drive. You don't have to take that cross. If you want to take it further, you're coming down, right hand to the left knee toe, and then you're squeezing, powering up, left elbow to right knee. So we're thinking about that control. So very, very, very slow lower, and then really feel those quads and glutes fire as you lift. This is an exercise where you really benefit from slowing down. The slower you go, the harder the work. We're thinking about that squeeze, that cross, getting into the abs. See, you might, like me, notice that you have one side that is significantly less controlled and balanced than the other. That can be due to lots of things, injuries, imbalances in the body, and it is good if you can spend a little bit of time working on that weaker side. Working here for another 5. So if you find you do have a weaker side, it's always good to have a little go balancing on that leg when you're waiting for the kettle to boil, or generally just trying to see if you can work a little bit on that side. 4. So keep it controlled. Remember, you're welcome to switch around between movements. 3. Keep that core involved. 2. And 1. Give your legs a little shake, a little release. All right, got one more little moving balance exercise. This time we're gonna go a bit ninja. Again, something I really enjoy. So right foot into the center of the mat, left toes are coming back. We're coming into a lunge position. From there, we are going to, I'm going to show you the full exercise and then I'll teach you a modification as well. We're going to move the right foot, is going to take all the way, we're going to transfer forwards. The left knee is going to lift. We're going to extend the left leg out into a kick, lift, and move with control back to a lunge. So it's quite a strong exercise. We're moving from lunge to knee lift to extension and back again. If you find that's a bit difficult, you want right foot to be grounded, and then you're going to step the left foot in. So you're going to take a little halfway break, and then you're going to take a knee drive. So you can take a step and a lunge. So you're just moving from a lunge to standing to knee drive. So you're going to break it down into different levels, and really encourage just having a play with that if you need to before you start to work into that full flow. So really slow work here, really controlled. Again, you're going to feel that fire in the right quad, in the right glute. You don't have to take that kick if you just want to turn it into a knee drive, rock on. Thinking about the core staying engaged, the shoulders moving down the back. Nice work. Working here for 5, so slow and controlled. Awesome. Try not to lean backwards when you kick, but feel the abs come into play to support that movement. 4. Nice. So again, we're thinking about controlled moving balance. 3. Abs coming into play as we drive the knee. 2. 1 more. And release. Give that leg a little shake, and then we're on to the other side. So left foot is going to ground, right foot is moving back, left knee over left ankle, right toes ground, and again we've got the full flow. We're moving from lunge to knee lift, kick, and slowly moving back. Option to stay there, option to take a half step through. So we're just going to move. Our modification is we take a lunge, left knee over left ankle. We use the quads and the abs to lift to standing, and then you take the knee drive. So you've got options. You can remember you can switch around between the two. Try and focus on stability. Try not to wiggle from side to side. Try to focus on control. So thinking about inhaling and exhaling as well. Perfect. So slow, controlled, squeezy movements. Try to ground down big toe, little toe, heel. So we're getting loads of work into the lower body here. So, as I said before, working on our quads and glutes is super important for knee health. So if you do have problems with the knees, obviously there's lots of different reasons that could be, but quite often weak quads and glutes can be a factor. Likewise, glute strength often a really important factor in lumbar spine health, so the lower half of the spine along with abdominals. So really important to give some time to these areas as well as work on balance. Another 3. Well done, almost there. Hopefully getting a little bit easier now. 2. And 1. All right, give those legs a little shake around. Nice work. From there, we're just going to roll all the way down and come straight onto our bum. So, we're going to start off. So if you come on down to seated, And take your left foot out to the left corner of the mat, right foot comes in, nice and easy, single leg forward fold. So we're going to lift up, angle the body over that left leg, and take a forward fold. So sometimes when we come into a forward fold, we try to reach quite far forwards with the hand that's on the same side of the foot, and bring the right shoulder won't come up as much, which is absolutely fine. You'll get a little bit more of a stretch in the side body. But if we want to work on this this hamstring isolation, you want to rotate and try and keep both shoulders in line. So try not to let that right shoulder pike and lengthen forwards there. If you want to have a bend in that left knee, feel free. Remember, you can always stay quite far up or move forwards. Just gently ease your way into it. Deep breaths in. And so trying to relax your way into this little isolated hamstring stretch, just feeling into wherever you're at today. Often flexibility can be really variable, really dependent on all of the other things we've been doing, how we've slept, how hydrated we are. So there's loads of factors going on. So never beat yourself up about where you've got to. Just think about feeling into that sensation of stretch and enjoying wherever you've come to today. So deep breaths in and out. Working here for another 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. 1 more deep breath in. And out, roll on up there. We're just going to take that onto the other side. So left foot in, right foot out. Again, just find the sit bones. This is a point where if you're at home and you can't comfortably sit, you might take a little bolster underneath the hips. Again, you're going to rotate and start to fold forwards. Remember this left shoulder, we don't want it to pike, we want to keep drawing it down in line with the right, grounding down with the sit bones and using the breath to find space. Inhale. And exhale, just gently stretching out into the back of that right leg. Deep, full breaths, feeling that space in the back body. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Option to have bend in the knees, option to have hands behind. Whatever feels good, just working at your level, trying to relax into it. Inhaling and exhale. So we'll just be here for another 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. 1 more deep breath in. And out. From there, you're going to roll on up, plant both feet down, and we are coming into a reverse table. So squeezing the core, squeezing the glutes. So our reverse table, you really want to feel that power come from the back body. So you should feel the shoulder blades squeeze together. You're working with the hips staying high. You're very welcome to stay there. If you're feeling it, you might extend the legs out and come into a reverse table. You're very welcome to stay there. If you're feeling it, you might take it into a reverse climber, keeping the hips high, and we're driving one knee into the chest, the other knee into the chest. Just focusing on squeezing the shoulder blades together, keeping that lift up through the glutes. So we're extending and driving back in. Working here for another 3. Squeeze, keep those hips high. Working on strength. 2. And 1, release. Double leg forward fold here. So shimmy back onto the sit bones. So we're thinking about just finding the sit bones. Inhale, reaching up tall. Angling the body forwards. And again, folding forwards. So it might be that you are feeling quite tight, in which case bending the knees. Feel free to grab a strap. If you're feeling like you can comfortably fold forwards, feel free. If you're just sitting upright, that's awesome. Again, just feeling in to whatever is good for you today. And just focusing on the breath. I'm feeling super tight today, so I'm just going to stay up here. You feel free to work deeper. And we're just thinking about inhaling, exhale. So feeling the breath lengthen the spine. The lower rib cage is lifting away from the top of the hips. The spine is extending on the inhale. Exhale, move forward slightly. So remember, it's a forwards fold, not a downwards fold. You want to feel that sense of moving, lengthening forwards. And then the downwards part is just the very final bit. Working here for another 3. Inhale. Exhale. 2. 1 more deep, full breath in. And roll up there. Awesome stuff. All right, coming to the front of your mat. Got a fun little exercise here. So just make sure you've cleared your space behind you. We're going to be doing some rocking and rolling. I'll give you an option if it doesn't work for you as well. So if you've got any problems with the spine and dynamic movements, do feel free to take a different option. I will show you that. So option 1, we're going to lift the toes off the mat. We're going to hug ourselves into a little ball, and we're going to rock backwards and then use the abs. Oh, it's surprisingly difficult to catch that balance at the top. So it's quite a lot of fun. A little bit of playtime. Don't get to throw ourselves about much normally if you're a grown up. Try not to be. So just a little rock and roll there. If you're feeling it, you can take that into a seal as well, taking the hands under through the soles of the feet together, and then you're just coming up, so the hands are on the outside of the ankles, and you're just rocking and rolling there. If that doesn't work for you, if you're finding this is too much, just come on down onto your back, and we're taking a pelvic roll. So lower back is on the floor, and we're squeezing the abs to lift the tailbone off the floor and take a little roll. So that's your option if you don't like this rocking and rolling. You're using that squeeze of the abs to lift the legs up and down the mat, using that power in the abs, heels are into bump. If you can, we're taking a little rolling like a ball, or a little seal where we've got the hands under around through the ankles, and we're using the abs to find that lift at the top. So it's surprisingly difficult. We come from this point of momentum, and we have to use the abs to slow ourselves down and catch that balance. So we're swinging backwards and then finding stillness using the abdominal strength. Awesome stuff. Working here. 5. Little rocks and rolls. 4. Squeezing left. 3. Well done. 2. 1 more. And when you're ready, roll all the way down to lie on your back. Beautiful stuff. Give yourself a little squeeze, a little stretch there. And then from that, we're going to take a little lower abs exercise. So we're going to start off a bridge position. So feet are grounded. So we're going to use that as just a little bit of support. So option 1 here, right foot's grounded, left foot's going to come into the air. I'm just going to draw a tiny little circle with the left foot. Trying to keep the lower back on the floor. If you need a soft bend in the knee, that's fine. If you want to, you could take it bigger. So a slow circle. So any size, tiny or much bigger. You're thinking about maintaining control, getting another lovely mobilization through the hips here as well. Option 2, extend the right foot if you want to make it harder. So thinking about working your level, remember it could just be a little tiny circle in the sky, it could be much bigger. You want to make sure the lower back is on the floor, that right leg can be straight or bent. If it's bent and you've got the right foot on the ground, you give yourself a little bit of stability through grounding now with that right foot. So that's an option as well. Just work at your level. Won't be here too long. Thinking about trying to keep both hips grounded on the mat. Working here for 5. Well done. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Swap over. Right foot grounds, left foot comes up into the sky. Just going to take it onto the other side. So little tiny circles, nice and easy. Or if you're feeling it, maybe taking them bigger. Remember, lower back on the floor. It's a really nice way to mobilize the hips to find space while we work the abdominals. Option to fully extend that left leg if you prefer. If you can, you can keep that leg straight and the toes pointing so you can really activate the muscles, but it's also absolutely awesome if you want to take a bend in that knee, take some of the strain out of the lumbar spine. So working at your level wherever that is for you. This is our final exercise. We're going to move to a few stretches after this, working here for 5. So slow and controlled. 4. Remember to breathe. It is quite a strong one. Make it slower if you want it to be harder. 3. Slow, slow, slow. Particularly when that foot comes to the floor, that's when it's going to be even harder. 2. And 1. Awesome stuff. Give yourself a little squeeze. Absolutely awesome work. Give yourself a little hug in. And then we'll just take a final few stretches. Left ankle comes to the right knee, taking the hands through to the back of the right shin or behind the right leg. Right foot can be in the sky or bent, whatever feels good. Just aim to find a stretch down the back of that left leg. Shoulders down, back, deep breaths in. And for 3, inhale. Exhale. 2. Just let the shoulders release and relax. 1 more deep breath in. transition there. Left foot down, right ankle onto left knee, and we're taking that little hug in on the other side. Remember, you can take hold of the shin, around the foot. Could be that right foot's even on the ground. Just find whatever depth works for you. And stretching and breathing in. Inhale. And exhaling for 5. Deep breaths in. And out. Shoulders relaxing, stretching in. 4. So really deep inhales. And exhales. 3. 2. 1 more inhale. And exhale, release. From there, taking the hands to the knees, just drawing some big sweeping circles with the knees away from each other. And towards each other. And take a happy baby there. Peace some fingers around the big toes, knees in towards the armpits. Have a little rock and roll, a little wiggle out. Thinking about finding extension through the spine, space in the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Shoulders are relaxing down. Deep breaths in and out for 3. Inhale. Exhale. So finding that lovely stretch into the hips, little semi-inversion, extending out through the spine. 2. 1 more inhale. And exhale, left leg extends, hug in with the right knee. Take the left hand to the right knee, draw the right knee across the body and open out with the right hand away from you. Stretching out long. Inhale. Exhale. So that right shoulder releases down. Deep breaths in. And out for 3. 2. 1 more deep breath in. And transition there. Right foot is going to extend. Hug in with the left and take that little twist. Right hand to left knee. Bring the left knee across the body, opening out with the left hand. Stretching out. So just finding that lovely extension through the chest. Stretching out through the side body. Inhale. Exhaling for another 3. Deep breaths in and out. 2. 1 more inhale. And exhale, come through center. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then when you're ready, rock up to seated. So find your way all the way up to seated. So let the sit bones ground. And from there, interlock the hands. Stretch up to the sky. So draw the shoulders down. Lovely big extension. Inhale. And exhale, release. Hands to heart center. Take a final deep breath in. And out. And thank you all so much for joining. Have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you.